And we're back. It's time for your Political Maniacs. On Saturday, Representative Ron DeSantis, who is running for governor in the state of Florida, referred to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the up-and-coming New York congressional nominee, as the girl, this girl Ocasio-Cortez, or whatever she is. The up-and-coming Progressive House candidate pulled off a stunning victory against Representative Joe Crowley in New York last month and has since received significant backlash from the far right. DeSantis is, like who I said, is running for governor and has the support of President Trump. Made his remarks about Ocasio-Cortez during a campaign event in Orange Park. On Monday, Ocasio-Cortez took to Twitter to clarify for DeSantis exactly who she is. Let's talk about her clapback. And her clapback, let's start from the beginning here. So let's take a listen to DeSantis' remarks about Miss Ocasio-Cortez.
You look at this girl, Ocasio-Cortez, or whatever she is. I mean, she's in a totally different universe. It's basically socialism wrapped in ignorance, and it's problematic. She was asked, she's complaining about the occupation of Palestine, and so someone's like, well, what do you mean by that? And she's like, well, I don't know, I'm not an expert.
In response to this misogynistic comment, Ocasio-Cortez responded the following on Twitter. Rep. DeSantis, it seems you're confused as to who I am. I'm a Puerto Rican woman. It's strange you don't know this. You don't know what this is, given that 75,000 Puerto Ricans have relocated to Florida and in the 10 months since Maria. But I'm sure these new Florida voters appreciate your comments. And what she's speaking about there is the fact that Florida has received an influx of American citizens from Puerto Rico who have decided to leave their island nation to come to the United States mainland because of the conditions, the deplorable conditions that exist in Puerto Rico because of government neglect due to the Trump administration. Let's go even further here. Now let me say this before I go any further about Miss Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Miss Cortez is running for Congress in New York's 3rd District, where she ran one hell of a campaign. She was outspent almost 20-1. But Ms. Ocasio-Cortez was not outworked. She knocked on more doors, she had more conversations, and as she says herself, she drinks the water. And for the people in her, what will soonly be her newly minted district in New York, they liked her more than they liked Representative Joe Crowley. And to say that she's the face of a Democratic Party when we have 435 other candidates running all across the country is not only ridiculous, but it's outright insane. That's like me saying that Roy Moore is the face of the Republican Party. You would say, Republicans would argue that that's unfair. Or it's like me saying that known racist and alt-righter Corey Stewart is the face of the Republican Party. Or, for some, it'd be like me saying that Donald Trump is the face of the Republican Party. Or for others, it'd be like me saying that Jeff Flake is the face of the Republican Party. Every party goes through its changes, and every party has its falls and its defeat, its rises and its falls. But to assume that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is some sort of national figure when she only represents one district out of 135 seems to be a stretch, Representative DeSantis. But here's what it really boils down to. Representative Ron DeSantis and vulnerable Republicans who are scared of having a real conversation about the real issues facing the American people would rather blow the socialist whistle and ring the socialist alarm instead of having a conversation about the issues. So they will pull Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez into every single race. They will nationalize her face. They will make her the other to scare people away from voting for the Democratic Party this midterm election. But don't be fooled. Don't be a political maniac. Figure out what's happening in your district. Figure out the issues and vote on those issues. Don't vote on don't vote on a word. Don't vote on a label. Don't vote because they say it's the right thing to do. Vote because it's your American responsibility. And vote for somebody because they care about the issues that you care about. If you are a working family and you have a child that attends daycare or attends preschool or attends early childhood, then a vote for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and if you live in New York, might be the right thing to do. And if you live in Florida, I can definitely tell you, you might want to vote against Ron DeSantis. Because every time it comes to standing up for working class families, Ron DeSantis is on the other side. Yes, indeed, America, it's true. When it comes to ensuring that we properly fund our public education, like in the ESSA bill, Ron DeSantis votes against it. When it comes to standing up to for-profit colleges and universities, Ron DeSantis, he sits down. When it comes to fighting for those with pre-existing conditions, Mr. DeSantis, he sits down. When it comes to standing up and saying the truth that Russia engaged in our election and it's important to protect our democracy, he doesn't stand up to Russia. Mr. DeSantis, he sits. Remember these things when you go to the polls and you have to make a vote. So don't vote because he tells you in Florida that the Democrats are socialist. No, that's just a label. And that label is one woman who's running in New York, hundreds of miles away from the Sunshine State. There are great Democrats running for governor in the state of Florida. And when the primary hashes itself out, you compare the record of DeSantis versus the Democrats. And remember what the state of Florida has been through. The state of Florida, out of many other states, has had a rough and twisted journey. Not only have you suffered from major hurricanes, but just this year, the state of Florida was brought to his knees as a school shooter walked into a Parkland high school, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, and rained terror, killing 19 students and teachers and disrupting a perfect town. Ron DeSantis, he voted to expand the rights of people like the shooter in Parkland. He wants to arm teachers instead of providing wraparound services to students. He wants to make it easier to get a gun in the state of Florida after Pulse nightclub and Parkland, not harder. And these are the issues that matter, not whether or not somebody's socialist in New York City.